Welcome to Betting Bananas with the ruthless L. Dawson, Ryan the Cornerman Quinn, and Dave Van Auken.
There we go. We spent the big bucks. We got the intro already changed. L. Dawson, there we go. That was for you. Ryan Quinn, how are you guys doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Doing well.
Very cool. 2 days after UFC Orlando, we're kind of 4 or 5 days in front of UFC 282, the last UFC pay-per-view of the year. But you guys, you don't look right to me. I don't know. You just don't look great.
Do we don't look long enough in the face?
I tried to tell you. I don't want to, guys, I don't want to be that person. I told you so, but.
Which way does this go?
Man, Angela Hill.
How do I put this on? I've never had to wear it.
See, I gotta adjust my damn seat now to get the top of the banana in. It's the whole thing.
Trying to go against the Fight IQ, the veteran. Man, I swear to it was the whole night was it was a great night of fights. I was just talking to Ryan about it off air. I made 3 major bets. One was on Angie Hill as the underdog, Wonderboy Thompson in the main event, and then the second fight of the night, literally L sold me on I forgot his last name, Marshall. Was
Francis
it
Marshall? Yeah.
Yeah, Marshall, and won that. So I felt great. I had a great
Mm-hmm.
night of winning money. So it was betting, and it was also bananas.
Extra bananas today.
Yes.
This isn't nearly as cute as the bunny ears.
I know, man. Hopefully we can make this a 2-hour-long show.
No, it's already too long.
I know. Oh, man. If you guys wanted to, that's it. I can crop out.
No.
No.
Deal's a deal.
Deal's a deal. I need a child-sized banana hat. I've got too much banana, not enough head.
That's maybe so did Tracy Cortez. All right. Too far along. Here we go. UFC 282, guys. Crazy. I can't. To be blunt and honest, I just feel super disappointed that we don't see Glover and Yuri. I wanted this fight so much. I know it's end of the year, and everyone does the end of the year awards and fighter of the year. To me, that was the fight of the year. Yuri versus Glover won for the championship in Singapore. Was the best fight I saw all year. I loved it. I couldn't wait for the rematch. Hey, I'm going to be honest. I think we are a very pro Glover, podcast. Ryan and I both, talked to him. I was excited for that rematch. That's off the card. They elevated Ankalaev and Blachowicz to the main event. Just seems like the card's missing something. I'm starting to get excited for Patty. Watching the embeddeds, I'm getting excited for Gordon and Patty a little bit. I think probably the best fight in the whole card is Topuria and Bryce Mitchell, which will open the pay-per-view. But guys, just real quick before we get to the best bet, underdog 3-5 parlay, what's your synopsis on the pay-per-view? Elle, let's start with you.
It did feel a little bit lackluster in comparison to some of the recent big cards. There's definitely some good fights on there, like you mentioned. There's Topuria and Bryce Mitchell. Duplessis is a super exciting guy to watch. He's definitely never boring. The prelims didn't blow me out of the water this time around, which usually it's the other way around. I'm usually really, really excited for those early fights. But yeah, I think obviously you got Chris Curtis on there and Joaquin Buckley. It's definitely not a boring, it's not a boring matchup per se. We'll have some exciting fights. I'm super bummed that Glover's not on the card as well, though. I love him.
Yeah. Ryan?
Obviously I'm super bummed about Glover. Robbie got taken off the card too.
Yeah,
I actually, it's funny. I was going to this fight, and I was like, maybe I'll better hold back. And then, I couldn't get PTO from work, and now thank God, because I was going for Glover and Robbie. Right. But no, this card's taking a real kick in the groin, between all that. Ovin St. Preux no longer on the card. Yeah. But there's some certain stuff there that you could look at. The Patty. I'm really interested to see what Patty Pimblett fights like when he's in the States. He's out here. He's they kind of they put him at the co-main event. It's kind of it's kind of a lot. I don't think he doesn't seem like the kind of person where that's going to affect him. But there's going to be a lot of stylistic fights here that me as a technique nerd is really going to love to see. Buckley and Chris Curtis. Who's going to implement their striking? Who's going to set that up? Topuria and Mitchell. You know, I don't want to get too much into my picks. Actually, I'm going to do a breakdown later on my channel on the main event and how I think both fighters go about it. But and then Dawkins and Biggie Boy, they're gonna who's gonna implement who's gonna knock who out and why. So there's some good technical stuff there that doesn't necessarily appease to the casual. And let's face it, I don't want to oversell the card, but it's going to be some fun stuff to watch there. I'm still going to be in my seat on Saturday night watching it.
Us as well. We I met a buddy for lunch today and said it's gonna be a tough buy. When I push that button at $74.99, it's gonna be a tough moment. But after that, I'm gonna enjoy the night. I will love it. Sit down, maybe drink a couple cold ones and watch the fights and enjoy it. Also, so Robbie Lawler is out. Alex Morano is in. Do you guys know who broke that news of Alex Morano being in the on the pay-per-view? Whoa, hey, all right, here we go. Rolling around. I already got you guys wearing banana hats. I don't need any more for my ego, but let's go into it. Best bet in the card. One of my favorite things that we do, L. Wagman, you're like 95% of this. You always nail, I feel like, your best bet on the board. Last week, RDA in stoppage. You told people to go there. Hopefully they did. What's your best bet of UFC 282?
My best bet is actually pretty early. Vinicius Salvador in under 2.5 rounds. Man, Daniel Da Silva has definitely had a rough road in the UFC so far. He's 0-3 so far. He's been finished very early in all 3 of those fights. And he's not fighting like they haven't thrown him to the wolves either. He's fought guys on his level. He's fought up-and-coming prospects. He hasn't fought good, decent guys, but like they're not throwing him to these super experienced guys. He's fighting guys on the same level as him, and he just can't get it done. Vinicius Salvador's a super dangerous guy. He has a ton of finishes outside of the UFC. I actually didn't see a single decision win on his record. So had a big knockout on Contender Series, and I just believe has fought tougher people as well. He has a really strange mix of like people on his. I saw like 0-0 opponents, but I also saw like 9-1 opponents. Like he definitely has the strength of schedule as well as the danger factor in that. I think that's a pretty easy sell.
I like it. I like it a lot. It was kind of one of the bets at -200 straight. I like a lot, but then if you go even under, it's going to be great odds. L, love that. Ryan, what is your best bet on the board?
I got Ilia Topuria beating Bryce Mitchell by decision. I think that, and like I don't want to. Don't get me wrong. I think that Bryce Mitchell is the most organically entertaining mixed martial artist in the world right now. Like and I salivate for a Bryce Mitchell post-fight interview. But I'm not going to get that on Saturday. I feel that Bryce Mitchell is a little bit overhyped after the Edson Barbosa win. Edson he doesn't have the same muscle mass that he has at 145, plus the knee injuries. So takedowns, he's a little susceptible for. Plus the jiu-jitsu is just really not there. Bryce is strong, so I think that stylistically it was a bad matchup. I know Bryce had some prior good wins, but I just feel overall that Ilia he has a little bit of wrestling, enough to match Bryce, and he has a very controlling style in the stand-up. I think that he's going to start slow, and you're going to see him win rounds 2 and 3, if not all 3 rounds.
Wow. We usually record this on Wednesday night. Spoiler alert, it's Tuesday night here in Florida. This is the #1 fight I want to see the scale for. This is it. This is a huge one. Topuria is, usually having trouble making weight. He's fought at lightweight. This is the big one. Phil Rowe missed weight. He beat Nico Price. It's someone told me, I looked it up. It's at 76%. If you miss weight and you fight, you win. So I can see Topuria maybe even missing weight here by 3-4 pounds. They're both under the same management. I bet you they make it work to say, hey, guys, we fight. They need every fight they can get in this pay-per-view. I bet you Topuria doesn't cut those last 2-3, just throwing it out there. And if he doesn't, I can see him winning this fight. So there's the fight. I want to see the scale, and that's why I get paid the big bucks. You're welcome. There you go.
Yeah, and they're doing everything in their power. They are not cutting this fight if that happens. This
exactly. They can't. Like, to me, this is the #1 fight I want to see the most. Like, I'm intrigued about Paddy. Yeah, we're going to see a new champion as the light heavyweight, but this fight, like, I'm really intrigued. I want to see it. I think it's going to go late. It's going to go multiple rounds. I'm really intrigued in this fight. They can't cut it. They can't. So, All right, underdog. I like both of those guys. I'm very intrigued. Underdog play. L. Dawson, take it away.
I saw Chris Curtis as an underdog, and that's
yes
me a lot. So that's who I'm definitely taking as my underdog. These guys both have big power, absolutely. But Joaquin Buckley has definitely struggled with these longer fighters in the past. And Chris Curtis does a really great job of staying long, and he has just as much power and just as much danger factor as Joaquin Buckley does. Like I believe he's beat the better guys as well. Obviously, he came up short against Jack Hermansson, who's very experienced. Hermansson came in with a super smart game plan, kept it super long, super safe. Buckley can't beat him like that. So I think Chris Curtis has all the advantages here.
100% agree. It's my favorite underdog on the card. Love Christopher Curtis. Good guy. He was actually at Icon Fighting Championship this past Friday night in Orlando, Florida. So shout out to Chris Curtis. I like it, L. All right, Ryan, what's your big underdog on the card?
Mrs. Dawson, I am matching your underdog bet just like I'm matching your headwear right now. I have Chris Curtis too. I think he has the most underrated boxing, even though he's known for his striking in the game. And against somebody who, like a Buckley, who really likes the fancy knockouts, the home runs, I feel like that Chris, he has that power where he could set it up. He has the jabs and the feints that I'm always complaining about on Twitter on Fight Night. He's able to employ that, and he's going to go in there and land his combination straight to victory.
There we go. Wow, we are all three of us on the underdog, Chris Curtis. There we go. We're going to chop that up. We're going to make that a clip. All right, 3-fight parlay. There's a lot of action. We haven't even mentioned the main event yet. We haven't talked about Patty. Let's see if one of those guys get thrown in there. If not, we'll kind of get that on the end. L. Wagman, 3-fight parlay. Let's make it. Let's win it. Christmas is around the corner. My girls need presents, you know.
So for my first leg, I'm going to steal Ryan's best bet. I'm taking Ilia Topuria. I didn't go the over on this one because I'm not 100% sold on that. I do think Bryce is super tough, and I could see Ilia just him out for decision. I think Ilia has more than enough wrestling to compete with Bryce on the ground. I think if we see grappling exchanges, it's more likely going to be Ilia on top and Bryce trying to sub him off his back. And man, the striking differential between the two of these guys is just crazy. Like Ilia is leagues ahead of Bryce Mitchell on the feet. I think Bryce is going to take a lot of damage when he can't get Ilia down. I think he's really going to struggle with that, with setting up those takedowns to get inside and be able to implement that wrestling. And when he can't get him down, I think he's going to take a lot of damage. So I could see a finish in that fight, but I'm just going with Ilia as the winner. Then I have Du Plessis in under 2.5 rounds. I know he did go to decision in his last fight, but that is not a typical thing for him. And man, I love Darren Till, but I just don't think he's been the same since the George Masvidal fight. I think he's like 1-4 in his last 5. He's been plagued by injuries for the last couple of years, had this huge layoff. And I think his grappling disadvantages as well as his chin, Du Plessis is a terrible matchup for him. I think that one's going to end early. And then for my last leg of my 3-fight parlay, I'm going to take my own best bet with Vinicius Salvador in under 2.5 rounds.
Wow. Okay. There we go. A lot of Topuria love. I do like the Du Plessis, and then the Salvador. No Patty. No Ankalaev. We'll see. Ryan, 3-fight parlay, my man. UFC 282. Okay. Take it away.
First one, I got Jared Rosenstrike over Chris Daukaus. I know that Daukaus is a little bit quicker, but I feel like Jared just has better. Biggie Boy just has better striking. He's just a better boxer. Plus, I walked into ATT a couple weeks ago. I saw him training with Steve Bruno, who's like the ultimate mastermind when it comes to mixed martial arts striking. That really pumped me up about that. I was like, oh man, so he's going to be in shape for this fight too. So I really like him there. And then going down a little bit, I have TJ Brown over Eric Silva. I just really like his wrestling. I know he's in a little bit of the mix-up with everything going on at Glory MMA, but he does have a gym back home. He only does his camps, from what I understand, at Glory MMA. And, you know, at the end of the day, too, us wrestlers, we have that security blanket of a great double leg. And I think that when things don't go his way, he's going to be able to do that here because he's confident with his ground game as well against Eric Silva. And in my third leg, feeling a little song for this one too, guys. It's coming. Ankalaev, he'll get a hold and never leave. like no other. He'll bring you right down to your knees. Magomed Ankalaev over. Oh man, I'm just too stuck in that song over Jan Blachowicz. I like Jan a lot. I know that he has power. I just can't see Ankalaev losing this fight. When I see somebody with like top heavy like Jan, and then I think of a wrestler like Magomed. I just think of high crotch to double leg all day. He's gonna like just gather up those skinny legs, those skinny white legs, and just plop them to the ground. That's what I see happening that whole fight.
My mind totally went blank after you started singing Ankalaev. I don't know. I don't know what you said after that. Okay. Maybe you said something very intriguing and really good in-depth points. Okay. You're singing Ankalaev. I'm lost.
Hey, all right, now I'm not even gonna say what song that I was ripping off there, but I know I sound just like it, so it's totally whatever.
Two weeks in a row.
You viewers have to tell us what song that I was scraping there.
Wow, oh no, that was amazing. 2 weeks in a row. All right, a lot there. Rosenstrike to me is one of my. I just think Chris Daukaus, his losses, he can beat. I think competition that he should beat, and then when he fights guys like Curtis and Derek Lewis, he loses. And to me, Rosenstrike is in that group. He's maybe on the back end of a Derek Lewis or Curtis, but the same kind of skill set, power, heavy, explosive puncher. I like that a lot. TJ Brown, yeah, I'm not too sure. That's actually that's almost of a coin toss, but if you're with it, I'm with it. And finally, okay, let's go about the main event, guys. Ankalaev and Jan for the championship. I thought about this for a while about and people were saying, oh, this is the, Ankalaev's first time for the title, and sometimes that's a big deal and all this stuff. To me, this match was made. It's been made for 3 months, and they knew who they're going to fight, and now it just kind of got elevated. So it's a different thing. It's not like Ankalaev is going to fight Yuri as this big champion in his hometown, and it's like a big pressure cooker. In a weird way, there's no pressure. Like, this fight's been for 10 days. It's the championship fight. He didn't do a world tour. He didn't do press for it. He's already in Vegas. I just think this is another night at the office. I think Ankalaev, I know he's minus 300. He is the biggest favorite on the card, and he should be. I think he's almost a damn lock to win. It stinks. It doesn't stink, but I feel bad for our guy Glover. But Ankalaev, I love. Rosenstrike, I love. I think we're on this card a lot. All right, 17 minutes and 39 seconds into the podcast. Can we mention Paddy Pimblett? Paddy the Baddy. He's probably the big sell in this card. The embeddeds are talking about him a lot. He's all over it. What do you guys think of him? Is he a total hype train? Is he maybe underrated? Is he somewhere in between? Is he definitely going to win this fight against Jared Gordon? Is this a good matchup for him? Guys, take it away. El, run with you.
Man, I think Paddy is very overrated. Okay. In my opinion, at least up to this point, from his performances and current strength of schedule. I think the thing about Sean O'Malley, when they were really building him up, is he was still putting dudes away in devastating fashion. Yep. We saw Paddy arguably lose a round to Jordan Levitt, who's not, exactly a world beater in the lightweight division right now. So I don't know that Paddy is going to make this incredible run for the title like people expect from him comparatively to a guy like Sean O'Malley. He definitely has some danger factor. I know before he came into the UFC, he lost, he got beat pretty badly by Nad Narimani, who you've seen, fought Graham in Abu Dhabi a couple years back. I just don't know that he's going to have any huge wins in this lightweight division. Jared's a tough dude. He's a tough dude. I will say, the only guy that's ever submitted Jared Gordon is Grant. I don't know that Paddy has the control
who did
necessarily. Grant Dawson. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Oh, Grant Dawson.
Kind of a big deal.
Big deal.
But only dude to submit him. I think that if Paddy is probably going to be knockout, I would see that happening more so than a submission. In my opinion, I don't necessarily think Paddy has the ground control and the ability to get those finishes there. I'm not sure who's going to win that fight, to be honest. I was thinking about maybe just picking the under on that, because I was yeah, I could see it. I could see one of them clipping the other. I could see him clipping Jared on the way in. I could see Jared timing Paddy when he blitzes in, vice versa. Like, but it was one I just had to stay away from. In my opinion, it's kind of a toss up to me, until we see more from Paddy.
Okay, all right, Ryan, same question.
You know, I'm not a Paddy hater. I'm really not. What people don't realize about Paddy is his strength of schedule while he was at Cage Warriors was actually pretty solid. He actually fought some studs there, and he beat some good guys. When he got to the UFC, he's definitely gotten coddled a little bit, no question. He's so awkward too. He's so like, and that's why I think adds to the wrinkle to his game. This is why I don't think he's like a Conor McGregor either, because Conor McGregor is actually a pretty smart fighter, or he was anyway. And I don't think Paddy has any game plan when he's in there. But as far as this fight goes, I got a baddie bonus bet for y'all out there. I think this fight is definitely going the over. I could see both of them really feeling each other out in the first round. I could see them both making mistakes going into the over 2.5 rounds. Jared, actually, that fight with Grant actually really impressed me on Jared. He showed a lot of tenacity before he got finished. And against somebody like Paddy, that's going to pay dividends. You know, a lot of the awkward BS that Paddy tries to pull specifically on the ground is going to be negated. So I'm not really sold on who's going to fight. I'm leaning Paddy, but I think that's going to be a decision for sure.
Okay. And little icing on top of the cake, if Paddy does win and goes by Jared Gordon, maybe early in the spring of 2023, maybe we can see Paddy Pimblett, Grant Dawson main event on Fight Night.
Would love that.
You know, the poster.
Yeah.
You know, we got to get that good looking mug on a fight poster. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. Absolutely.
So there you go. I'm just I'm just trying to matchmake. Sean Shelby was that icon. You know, I'm just trying to help him out. I'm like, guys, Grant Dawson main event Fight Night. Come on, Mr. Shelby. All right, there we go. UFC 282 is in the books. I'm more excited about the card now after doing this. I think we're all in with Chris Curtis. I think I'm going to do maybe a little wager on that. I was both intrigued that both you guys seemed like you're on Topuria. I'm telling you, that's the fight. If he misses weight, I love him. If he makes weight, I think Bryce Mitchell has a real live action thing. We'll see about that. Main event, Ankalaev. I think I'm leaning Paddy. So it's going to be a fun one. There we go. UFC 282. I think we did it. Any last words, guys? Any banana bets you don't want to challenge me this week? You guys had enough?
They got it. They got to come organically. They got to come organically.
They got to pop up.
Go ahead.
I don't think the weight will have anything to do with Ilya's performance. I think regardless of the weight cut, the dude doesn't, he's not a gasser. He doesn't slow down. I can't see it, especially in 3 rounds. I can't see that affecting him.
Okay.
Wait, is Joe Rogan on the feed?
Rogan, DC, and Anik.
Oh. Now I kind of want Bryce because I want him to bring up the flat Earth thing to Joe Rogan in the middle of the cage. See, so this is the stuff.
Every betting show in the world is getting canceled out there, Ryan. We're trying to keep our show going, and you're not going to put flat Earth at the back end.
I'm just saying I want to see them.
We're out of business.
We should just bring Bryce on, you know? Just bring him on the show.
L. Dawson, the cornerman Ryan Quinn. Go check out his content. Great stuff. Orlando UFC recap. Dean Thomas. I'm Dave Van Auken, and listen to our $8,000 outro. All right, guys.
Thanks for watching Betting Bananas.